episode 20 of Fist of the North Star 1 Point. The keyword for this episode is going to be realms. This is an interesting one. Now, are you ready for this video? Because hopefully it's going to be very interesting and special. Here's what I spotted in this episode in relation to the previous two. I think there is an interesting evolution, if I may say. It's not that much of an evolution, but relation, let's say, between these three episodes. I'm talking about it now because this is like, let's say, when you get the whole idea, and so we can talk about it. This is episode 20, but we had episode 18. In episode 18, in these three episodes, Kenshiro is fighting against, I think we mentioned these groups, right, under Shin's orders, and each is saying, we're going to get the man with the 7 scars. In episode 18, you can rewatch these episodes, or if you just watched them, notice that in episode 18, Kenshiro is fighting against his enemies on land. So first you have those like huge, whatever they're called, construction vehicles, right? And so it's like they seem to be very, like, they would do a lot of damage. And Kenshiro is stronger than those. At the end of that episode, Kenshiro beats a tank. So that's on land, okay? Episode 19, Kenshiro eliminates enemies in helicopters. He's kind of like teleporting, however he does that, behind the guy, piloting the helicopter, and then you also have the Nanto cannon, I think it was called. So like the dudes get inside the cannons and they're propulsed to the sky, and then they're flying and so on. So that happens in the sky, let's say, in the air. And finally, in this episode, episode 20, at the end of the episode, let's say the final boss is some sort of battleship. Now, of course, it's on land, but it's a boat, it's a ship. Now, there's no water, there's no sea or something. It looks like an abandoned thing, but then you have the cannons and so on. And that's where Kenshiro seems to lose, let's say, at the end of this episode. The whole thing blows up. And that's why the keyword for this episode is realms. This is what I spotted. So you have like these three elements as they're known, right? Like these three realms in life, or in the world, however you see that. So the air, the land, earth, let's say, and water. The three areas, let's say. And so of course Kenshiro wins easily on land, because he has to purify the earth from the evil criminals. He even wins in the sky, in the air, and that's an important one, because the sky is like infinite. And then I think we mentioned the fact that you have birds. I think we talked about the dragon. So Kenshiro himself often is... So you have this symbol of a dragon with Kenshiro, and so that represents chaos, because it's like birds fly and then they go far away, and from the land on which we are, we see that as some sort of infinity potential. So that's chaos, and Kenshiro even wins there in the realm of heavens, of the sky, and also it's equated with God. I think we mentioned this before too, so that's also pretty interesting. But eventually, when it's about, let's say, the enemy, I mean, the way, the antagonistic symbol that's used in this episode, when it's symbolizing the water realm, then that's where the episode ends, and it's like he has lost, because there's no water in the world. Remember, we have mentioned water as an interesting symbol. Remember, Bato's grandmother, let's say, who definitely believes that she's gonna get water from behind that thick layer of rock. Kenshiro also steals water and is extremely thirsty in episode 1. We'll get back to we haven't talked enough, I think, about the symbolism of water. Very interesting. But just think of it as the essence of life. And in this world of chaos in which we have forgotten about, lost, this most essential, pure thing about life, and we have talked about seeds symbolizing that, Lin symbolizing that, and Kenshiro is the one who suffers from the responsibility of having to, let's say, embody that essence of life and realizing the organic evolution of this essence of life, that has light that has to come back to this world lost within shadows. And so he's the one suffering from it, which is why very often when he's thirsty and he doesn't have water, you have the sun with this sharp sound, kind of like he gets revelation. So the sun is like heat, it's the opposite of water, let's say. So he has to suffer it, let's say the absence of water, as he has to become, he has to be, prove to be, the water for the people in this devastated world.